Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. And we're going to continue with Master 2 here, but I kind of understood how this division works. You don't have to play 20 games. So like we see this person here has played 87 games. This person here has played 134 games. And yeah, so on and so forth. So we don't actually have to complete 20 games as we had in the other divisions. I think what we have to do is maintain our rankings in such a way that we don't like basically fall under 800, 810, which would lead us to get demoted to gold 1. We have to maintain ourselves within that mid 800s ranking, and probably push towards 1000 if we want to get promoted to master 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to play any more duels. Well, I am going to play more duels. As you can see, we have about 40 minutes until the whole leaderboard gets refreshed and we see um, some new people in our division. So I do think we are safe here in gold too. Yeah, we're in 19th and the bottom four, 27 to 30th, are going to get demoted. Yeah, so I think we're pretty safe. So what we're going to do instead is play our first ever round of Nmpz games, and we are going to play them unranked because, of course, we are new to this round. We don't want our scores to impact our rankings. So we have an option of playing unranked duels, which means it won't affect our leaderboard standings. And I think this would be a better idea. We get to try out NMPZ, see how it works. I think it's just going to be a stale picture, and we have to guess where we are in the world. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do for this video. I'm going to play a few NMPZ games and see how it goes. So yeah, let's get started. So guys, I was about to play unranked duels for Nmpz to just see how the new feature works. However, Zerka dropped a new video and he kind of went over some of the parts that we kind of missed when we misclicked at the start of Master 2. And we do see here that games are played in an informed world, an arbitrary world, and a rainbow world, which is different from what we had before. I think we had a community world or we had something like that, but we don't have that map anymore. We have three different maps, three new maps, an informed world, an arbitrary world, and a rainbow world. So instead, what we're going to do today is we're going to play duels, not duels, we're not going to play duels today. We're going to play NMPZ in these three maps to just get used to some of the scenarios we can get, some of the locations we can get. Because, like, for a previous one, we had a few metas that were our go-tos, which helped us climb all the way to Master 2. But I think we're gonna switch it up this time. I think the map's gonna be different. I think we've already played 15 to 16 games, and a lot of the locations were kind of new. Like we couldn't go based off our instincts almost like a lot of times. So I think we're just gonna get used to the new maps a little bit. And I think the season is almost over, or like the week is almost over. So I think we should still be in Master 2. And yep, we are still in Master 2. We hold our rank. We finished 19th, comfortable within the 800s. And I think Zerka dropped another video today where he was on like a 8 or 9 game winning streak, and then he reached Master 2 as well. But he was playing no move, and then he won his first game. But then he went on an 8 to 9 game losing streak, which saw him drop his rank below 800 and into the demotion zone. So maybe playing more games isn't always the best thing because you want to keep your rank and consistently push up towards the 900s, the 950s, and then eventually into Master 1. So that's something that we're going to work towards. We're going to maybe get a few wins, push our rating up by maybe 40 to 50 ratings if we can, if not, just maybe 20 to 30 as well. And then experience and enjoy the NMPZ game mode just because it's new and we haven't done it before. So yeah, we haven't unlocked a leaderboard yet, so we're going to save the duels for another video. What we're going to do today is we are going to play um, So we had an arbitrary world, and then we had the rainbow map, and then we had one more, I forgot which one. But we're just gonna search those up and play those maps. Yep, so here we see an arbitrary world, and we can choose an Nmpz, no time limit, and well, Blinky, he did win the Geoguessr World Cup. I think it was last year, and then he does have the best score. He has a perfect 25k score, and he did it within 4 minutes, which is so impressive. And then a lot of people who've got a perfect 25k score, so reeks of virginity, but it's okay. Let's see what we can do here, and let's get started. I think we're gonna play a couple of games with this map, and then maybe we might switch it up to the different one. Let's see. So as you can see, we cannot move around, we cannot pan, we cannot zoom, and we cannot move, of course. This is all we have, this is all we get. So let's see what we can find from here. So instantly we do see some writing here. It's not clear enough to determine where we are in the world. We're facing north, and we see the shadows here of these trees falling on the road here, which means that the sun is on, like, if you were to take this as north and then the bottom of the screen as south, the sun is in the east, so it's not quite helpful. This could, the writing does seem to have some sort of accents on it. Something, maybe it could be Vietnam, but it could also be like Brazil. And that's not really helpful because they're on two different sides of the world. Doesn't really look like Brazil. I do think this might just be Southeast Asia. Yeah, I wish I could move around or at least like just pan around to see what else is there, or maybe just zoom into this little board here. But not much to go off here, so we're just gonna. I do think it might just be somewhere in this region, and since I did think Vietnam, I'm going to go for Vietnam as one of my guesses. And it was indeed Vietnam. So it was a good guess from us. It was a bit more north towards the center of the country. We kind of hedged towards Ho Chi Minh City, but not a bad start. It was a good recognition of language from whatever we could see. This one, luckily enough, we do see the sun inside, so we are in the northern hemisphere here. Saying that, there's not much else that we can really see or just help deduce. Um, it's quite green. This could just be Europe, not too sure. And yeah, I wish you could zoom more into a bit of this area here. Maybe catch a glimpse of the number plate here, but this could also mm, yeah, I think I'm maybe gonna stick with my shouts for Europe. Where in Europe could this be? Looks quite sunny, so it could be maybe south of Italy. We were in Bulgaria, which is honestly not too bad considering we were in kind of this region of Europe towards the Mediterranean Sea, Black Sea, more southern and northern. And I think 2.8 is not too bad. So let's see what we can get next. Once again, not much over here. We do see suns maybe in the south, so we're in the north here. And we do have a lot of the evergreen trees. So we're going to be quite up north here. So this could maybe be in this region here. Or it could also be in the US to be honest. Or Canada. But I think this might be this might be Europe. I might guess here, and we were in France. So Europe was a good guess. It's the same score as last time with the 2.8. So, so I did think we were on the bit on like the plateauing side of the Alps, and it actually was kind of that. We went on the right side, it was the eastern, but it was the western side of the Alps. So again, not a bad guess from us. We just got the side wrong, but let's see what we can do next. Okay, this one. See, now this would be really helpful if we could move around because we know we're in an African country here. So if we could move around, maybe see a police car behind us, we would know we would be in Nigeria. And if we could just look down at our car, we could see the Ghana car, so we would know we were in Ghana. We do see this red, yellow, and green little theme here. A lot of countries in Africa do have that color scheme in their flags, so it doesn't really narrow it down. But I guess Senegal is one of the countries that has that and is seen on Geoguessr. And maybe if we could zoom into this, we could see a bit of the language if it was French or English. And we do see palm trees here, which means it could be on the coast. And the shadow is pretty much right below the object, so the sun's going to be right there somewhere towards the east. So I think I'm gonna stick with my Senegal shower and maybe guess closer to the coast. And we were in Ghana, but we were close to the coast here. So once again, it goes on to show that if we could move around and get a glimpse of the car, we would have definitely got Ghana there. But not too bad again. We avoided the Kenya and then the South of Africa region. So we were in West Africa and honestly not too bad. Okay, this one we do see a bit of a cemented road and these banana trees here. So I'm getting maybe Central Latin America or Southeast Asia, I want to say. We see the shadow of this little post is falling on this side, so our sun's gonna be this side towards the south. So we're definitely in the northern hemisphere, which means we're either in Thailand or we're just completely in like Colombia or like Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, those regions. So the pole is not giving us much information. We do know that a Thai pole has few holes in it. We don't see anything, and there's no language either. I think I'm gonna go hedge towards this area here. Maybe go Panama, just because it covers like the Costa Rica and the Colombia region as well. And let's see what we get. And we were in Colombia, so it's a good, honestly, a good guess from us. Usually we don't see a lot of Panama, so maybe Colombia could have been the shout. But again, it's a new map, like arbitrary world. We've not played it before, so you never know. But I'm happy we went with this region compared to Thailand. So let's look at our first set of results. Okay, we got 14.5k. I think that's okay, that's not too bad. And like a lot of our guesses, like we were pretty close here, we're pretty close here. Our Africa guess, I think that was our furthermost guess. And then we had one in Italy, which ended up being in Bulgaria, and one in Austria and Slovenia that ended up being in France. So I guess in terms of region guessing for Nmpz, it was a decent start. And I think let's play this one more time before we switch to a different word, a different map. Okay, this one, okay, this is English speaking. We see the green little sign here. I think this could be maybe New Zealand, or it could also be Canada in the north. Don't see much sun on this side. Don't see any shadows either. So it's not much to go off here. The grass does seem very green, very fresh for pastures or for sheep. So I might hedge towards New Zealand just for this one. But this could easily be like Canada as well. Canada, US. And it was New Zealand. Wow. It was in the northern section of New Zealand. So a great guess from us. Obviously, the grass did kind of help us in hedging towards New Zealand compared to Canada or the US. Okay, this one. I don't know the side meta for this because I do know that based on these little grills here, you can guess which part of the world you're in. But I don't know, just based off vibes, I do think this is like Colombia or Ecuador. So I'm just gonna guess here. Oh wow, would you believe it? We were in Panama this time. But yeah, it did seem like this part of the world. I can't give you much reasoning. It just felt like that. Felt like it. Okay, let's go on to the next round. Okay, we're on a bit of a highway here. Can't zoom into the number plate. Don't see any yellow lines here. We do have some shadows falling, but it's directly above us. And we're driving on the right hand side of the road, which means it's a left hand driving country, which should pretty much eliminate everything in the south. So it can be anything towards the east of Thailand. It shouldn't be anywhere in South Africa. I think main contenders are Europe and the US. Based on our surroundings, maybe Turkey. Turkey could be a good shot. And yeah, this could honestly just be anywhere. I'm maybe just gonna go Turkey, just because that's the kind of vibe I'm getting. But it could just be anywhere. And we were in Romania. Again, I'm not too annoyed. We were on another side of Black Sea. We were in Romania. We don't see. This is how I know this map is different, just because we've never seen coverage like that for Romania before. So it's something to take a note of. So maybe what we could do is play this map with moving and no move, get a bit of a feel of what kind of surroundings we get, and then maybe fine tune our Nmpz. But again, 3.2, not to an order that, considering with the number of countries it could have been, this is pretty close. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This one, we're driving on the left side, so the right hand side driving. I have a little scooter here, so it's not going to be Thailand. This could be Sri Lanka. I think this is Sri Lanka. I'm just going to go Sri Lanka. Well, it was not Sri Lanka. We were in this island of Indonesia, which we've never got before. Yeah, I don't think we've ever got this area before. We usually just get the Sumatra region, so South Sumatra, North Sumatra, or we get the main Java island, and then obviously we do get this area as well sometimes. But I think other than that, we barely ever got this region, so for getting that for Nmpz is, yeah, pretty much impossible. So that's not good. Our first 3 digit score, so honestly it took longer than expected, but let's see what the last round has in store for us. Again, there's not much to, basically see. Um, I wish we could zoom around, pan around. I think the sun is over here towards our east, I want to say towards southeast. So I think we're going to be in the northern hemisphere here. Seems reasonably dry. The grass seems reasonably dry. Slightly, very slightly hilly, very dry shrubbery. But that's so many places in the world. Like it could be Spain, it could be Mexico, it could be Italy, it could be Turkey, it could be a lot of places. So yeah, this could be anywhere. So I think we're just gonna guess, maybe based on this little poll, is our best shot. I don't know, how do you reduce this to maybe like how do you even reduce this to a region? Maybe what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna guess Spain and see what happens. So we are in Turkey, which is one of the countries I thought it was. So honestly, if you take into consideration all the 200 plus countries in the world, I named like four. That's a pretty good head, pretty good guess. But yeah, not a good score. I think this was significantly poorer than our first attempt. But I guess okay, at least we crossed the 10k mark. But again, I'm not too annoyed with it. Our main issue was this guess here, where we guessed in Sri Lanka and it was in Indonesia. But other than that, our New Zealand guess was really good. Our Colombia Panama mix up once again. And then the Spain and Turkey, it was like a 50, not 50-50, but like it was one of our few options between Spain, Turkey, Mexico. And then we guessed Turkey for when it was Romania. Again, it was like some coverage you've never seen. So not too annoyed at that. I think what we're going to do now is switch to a rainbow world. Yeah, and we're going to give this a try. Let's see. Okay, so again, Blinky is here with the 25k score. Even Finbar is here with the 25k score. I think a lot of the pro Geoguessr players are here with the 25k score. And custom generated map used for finals of Rainbow Season 0 tournament. So it has been used at a tournament level. And so it's rural focus is meant for no move and Nmpz. And yeah, let's give this a try as well. Let's see if this turns out to be easier. I mean, it's at the same difficulty level as an arbitrary world. We see this was moderate and this was moderate as well. So let's give this a try and let's see how we crack on. Okay, so this time we see the sun's in the north. We see a very slight yellow line, which I have a feeling is seen in South Africa. I want to say so. I'm gonna guess in this region of South Africa. And wow, we're 168 kilometers away on the other side of Pinetown. That's probably our best score of any round so far. So considering with the whole world we could have guessed it, that's a pretty decent guess, I would say. Let's move on to the next round. This one again, we do get a good glimpse of the sun again. We're in the southern hemisphere here. Do see these long trees, which do seem very green for South Africa. This could maybe be a bit of Chile, Argentina, maybe Brazil. The trees have very like thin stems, or like the trunk is very thin, so maybe not. This could also be Uruguay, and I do wish we could see the car because Uruguay does have a black car. So what I'm gonna do is guess in this middle region. So it's gonna be a very region guess between Uruguay, this part of Brazil, and then Chile. Yep, it was Uruguay. So once again, if we could have seen the car, we could have got a much better guess. But again, I feel like we were in the right region, so I'm not too annoyed with that guess. Okay, this one is gonna be pretty standard. I think we're in, I want to say Israel, the yellow number plates. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna guess maybe here. Yep, 26 kilometers away, closer to Tel Aviv. But 4.9 score on Nmpz, probably one of my best ones yet. So let's go on to the next one here. Okay, a much more rural region. A house made of hay. I'm not too sure where you usually see them. Maybe we have a bit more sun towards this side, so maybe it's a bit in the northern hemisphere. So I guess this could just be like some parts of Mexico, maybe. Yeah, this one is probably our trickiest round in this one. But yeah, this could just be anywhere. There's a chicken here, so I mean that does nothing. But yeah, um, quite rural. We have brick layer housing. It's decently green. I don't know. This could also be an African country. Yeah, I don't know where I want to hedge. I don't think this is going to be India. Maybe this could be Bangladesh as well. Yeah, not too sure. I guess we do see this pole here, which probably tells us nothing, but I am gonna maybe stick with our Mexico hedge. We were in we're in Cambodia on the border of Cambodia and Vietnam. Yeah, we didn't really see. So I mean, for Cambodia, we usually have a few little metas that we go for. But yeah, I don't think there was any way we were guessing Cambodia there. Okay, this is I think our last one for this one. Beachfront, that's English speaking. I think this is Australia with the double white lines. And enter only Salt and Spencer Golf Club. So this is cutting out a lot of the information because this is something Golf Club ever told us where we are. But yeah, this should be so beachfront. We're gonna be closer to a beach. Um, where do I want to go? Something Golf Club. What does that end with? IC? Do we see anything ending with IC? Maybe Adelaide? Well, that HIC or CHIC? It's pretty hard to tell. Beachport or beachfront? Oh, I thought we struck gold. Melbourne, National Park, Port Albert. Do we see any Golden Beach, Orange Grass, Lakes Entrance? Well, I do think since this is going uphill, the beach is towards the north. So, a north facing beach, Palm Beach. See, like, what if we guess here? But we have a golf club nearby. Or like, what if I guess here in this little region in close to Sydney? Wow, we were quite south. I mean, not too bad. Ah, there's a golf course, reef, beach. This is what we were looking for. We just couldn't find it. But I guess, okay, maybe Canberra was closer, but it's not on the beach. So I guess in terms of Melbourne and Adelaide, the two other cities we looked at, Sydney was the closest one. So let's look at our results. 17K, considering we got exactly 1 point in one of our rounds, is pretty impressive. And this map does have an average of 17.1. I don't know if that's mine or what the average is, but if that's the average, that's pretty close. So, I mean, that's more than the average. So I think we've done a good job. So I think barring our fourth round, if you take the 1 point away, we've got 17,571 out of a possible 20,000 points, which I think is pretty impressive considering our first time playing an Nmpz. So what I'm going to do is just play this one again and yeah, just to get a feel of it. Okay, the palm trees. again, this could be a lot of places which are on opposite sides of the world. Little, you know, polar opposites in the world. I think the sun is here to our, I want to say southeast. So we're going to be in the northern hemisphere here, I think. Maybe Southeast Asia would be a good guess. Maybe Philippines. I think I'm going to guess Philippines. We were in Thailand. Okay, so we were in Southeast Asia. Again, this part of Thailand we don't really see a lot. Usually for Thailand, I would have maybe preferred to see maybe pavimented road, but then again, it's the same for Philippines. So maybe I could have just guessed in the middle and cut down on the points, but yeah, we had the right region, so it's not too bad. Okay, this one we know the 2:1 pole alignment is seen in South America. We do see this little bit of language as well. So I think we're gonna be in Brazil here. It's like very red soil as well. A lot of good water coverage from the Amazon. And yep, we were in Mato Grosso, and I guessed closer to Brasilia. But again, not too annoyed with that, considering how big Brazil is. We could have easily been here or in Sao Paulo. This one, okay, this is mostly gonna be, I think, Europe with the way this house is set up, and I think it's quite flat, so this could be near Netherlands, Germany. I'm gonna guess here. There is no way. We were 35 kilometers away. We were right next to Dortmund. So I think we had a really good idea that we would be close to the Netherlands. But another 4.9k score out of 5,000 points. So we've had some pretty good runs for Nmpz. And considering again, once again, this whole world into context, we were only 35 kilometers away, which is I think pretty impressive. Okay, fourth round. Uh, I think this is mostly going to be Europe again. We see the shadow here, which means the sun is behind us. So I want to say it actually might be, if this is east, it might be facing southwest, the sun, because that's going to be northeast and then north. Yeah, so the sun's in southwest. It looks quite dry, but then also it has a good coverage of trees and greenery. I mean, not really dry, but like a good amount of sun. I do think this might be EU with the number plate. I hope it's not the US. I think I'm gonna go here towards Austria. Oh, we were in Russia. It kind of makes sense. We were in Europe for sure. Um, yeah, my Russian knowledge is not too good unless it's like this region here, which somehow I always get to know. But yeah, not too annoyed with that. Okay, for last one, this is the EU number plate. We're in Europe. Wish we could move and see that. However, this could be pretty much anywhere in Europe. MED means nothing. Ivan. I wish I could see what was on this side of on that side of this little board. Maybe Hungary? Hungary could be a good guess here. Hungary, Slovakia. I think I'm gonna guess here. And we were in Croatia. But it's a neighboring country and it's a score of above 4k. So I think that's another good run. We get 15k again, so we're averaging about 16k points. Honestly, not too bad. I think with a lot of our guesses, like the Brazil guess here, the Germany guess was really impressive, and I think that our last one was also pretty good. But I think the Russia one is one we have to work on, and then getting Southeast Asia is also important. Mainly because for Southeast Asia, we usually like to look around, get a good glimpse of the soil, the poles, the houses, and it gives us a good idea. But with NMPs, that gets really hard. So I'm gonna sit and find out what the last map was. I've kind of forgotten, but whatever the last map was, we're gonna play two more games in that. So okay, it was an informed world. So what we're gonna do now is play an informed world. Here it is. Okay, this one's easy. So maybe we should start over with this. Well, I mean, it says easy. I think it should be easier than the first two ones. We're gonna stick with Nmpz. And yeah, let's give two shots at this as well. Ooh, double in the middle. I think it's gonna be the US with state. Not too sure. The way the houses are set up could be like the East Coast. Over here. Yep, East Coast it was. It was. Oh, close to Georgetown, which. Oh, that's gonna be Delaware. I don't think we've ever got Delaware before, but considering we were in Virginia, I mean, once again, it's a neighboring state, so not too annoyed with that. Okay, this one, oh, please let me zoom into that. Come on. We do see a bit of, I want to say, oranges, brickish color houses. I want to say other houses. Maybe Spain. I think Spain could be a good shot with the way this is. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just get Spain. We were in south of France, but again, in the right region or like area of the world. So not to annoy with that once again. Yeah, we crossed to Montpellier, and let's go and play the next one. This one seems quite flat once again. I think this is going to be in the little region of Germany and the Netherlands. So I'm just going to guess that same region again. This could also be maybe a bit towards uh, Czechia and Poland. I'm going to stick with this. And guess what? We were in Germany. We were very north towards Denmark, but a score which is in plus of 4,000. So it's a good guess from us once again. We were in the right country. So I guess with an NPZ, that's, I mean, I wouldn't say bare minimum, but if you get the right country, it's probably a good start to your NMPZ career. Let's move on to round four. Oh, I don't know which country has a 3:1. We do see a pickup truck here. Um, I think there's a water body to our right, or maybe rice fields. But with this little board, and then we're driving on the left side, which means it's the right hand side. I think we could easily be in this little region, be Cambodia, maybe Philippines. This could also just be Thailand, if anything. So maybe I'm just gonna put Cambodia as a little region between Thailand, Vietnam, and Philippines. And yep, we're in Thailand. So I'm glad we went for Cambodia instead of like Philippines. And this kind of covers this region. So once again, we were in the right part of the world. Not too annoyed with that guess. And yeah, let's move on to, I think this is the last round. Okay, very flat. We do see the sun is towards the south, I want to say. Not too reliable here. This one's a bit tricky. This could easily be like the Midwest in the US. Should we just go for it? These, this yellow color usually sends me to South Africa or like south of Africa, if anything. But it's way too green, so I think I'm gonna just head towards Midwest, close to Iowa, Illinois, Kansas, Missouri. Oh, we were in, well, we were in North America, but we were in Winnipeg. Kind of makes sense with how low the sun was. So maybe next time we can hedge closer to Wisconsin and Minnesota if we do see a sun lower than that. But I think this was a pretty decent round. 2.7. Yeah, 18.5K, which is our best score so far out of our 5 rounds that we've played. So I think the most positive thing is that we've got a 5-digit score in all of our rounds. The arbitrary world was definitely the hardest one, I want to say. And well, we got the highest score in this one, and this was an easier one. So I think kind of adds up. We're gonna play this once more and see what we can get here. This one once again gives a very northern feeling. Since we do see the north here and we see the shadows falling towards the northwest, so the sun's gonna be in southeast. I think this could easily be Canada once again. Could be the US as well. I think what I'm gonna do is just guess that same region once again, the Winnipeg region. I do think it covers a lot of the regions. It has the same little yellow line in between that we saw last time. But we do see hills in the background, and Winnipeg does seem to be pretty flat here. I think it's still like a good region guess. We're just gonna guess Winnipeg. We were in Canada, but we were all the way east in Newfoundland and Labrador. Yeah, I was probably not guessing that, but if anything, we knew it was Canada off spawn. That's a good start. 1.2k points, not the best, but let's see if we can make up in our future rounds. This one is going to be Hungary or Romania, so I'm just gonna guess it was a border. And we were in Hungary, closer to Budapest, so once again, this one's pretty easy. Um, Anything north of 4.4k points is good. Let's move on to the next one. Ooh, this one is tricky once again. I don't know if I want to go like Norway, Sweden, or if I want to go like Canada once again. I think I'm gonna go to Canada. I'm gonna go closer to Toronto, Montreal. Maybe just guess somewhere here. And it was Norway. It was Sweden. Yep, it was a 50-50 we got wrong. I would have either guessed here or maybe here in Norway. That's annoying. Yeah, not too. I mean, main thing would have been to see the European EU number plates, but since we couldn't move or like zoom in, wasn't much help. But let's see. This one's interesting. This one, I have a feeling it could just be Turkey. Be of Northwest. Okay, this was okay. I We were in Kazakhstan in this region, this city here. I mean, yeah, I was never getting that to be honest. Okay, this was pretty easy. We're in Bangladesh. Looks like to be a major city as well. I might just guess in Dhaka. We were in just sure. Not too bad. Above 4k points once again. I think that's enough to cross the 10k point mark. But I mean, yep, 12.5. Again, this wasn't our best round just because a few of the reasons were just so obscure. Like the Canada one, we knew was Canada, but Newfoundland is something that I definitely to move around and see, maybe with the flags, maybe with some of the road signs. And then, yeah, the Canada and little Scandinavia 50-50, once again, is like, it was either or. And the Turkey one, I was navigating Kazakhstan. But I'm so glad we were in this little sort of region here compared to maybe somewhere else in the world. But I'm gonna call it there. We played like two rounds in each mode of the new maps. I think this will maybe help us out with the moving and no moving that we're going to continue with the duels. And Yeah, in the next video, I'm gonna play a few more duels with the new week starting, and let's see if we can push our rating towards 850, 870. Um, Probably gonna be in Master 2 for a while, so I think it's not a bad place to be just because we have access to the new game mode as well as I guess not as sweaty as Master 1 or some of the higher ranks. But with Master 2, I do feel like guessing the right country is not enough. Like, you have to guess the right regions as well, especially with the larger multipliers coming in. Like, if you're in a 3.5 or a 4x round and you're in New Zealand, guessing the North or the South Island can be really helpful getting it right. So, we have to do a lot of work in those aspects as well. But once again, I'm not really going to sit here and sweat it out as much. I'm just going to play here and enjoy the game. So that's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.